What's up, guys? Igor Hernandez here. I'm one of the attorneys at Cornish, Hernandez and Gonzalez, where I practice injury law and first-party homeowner property claims. And today I want to talk to you about the standard contingency fee arrangement for injury cases. Basically, what is the standard way that an injury lawyer like myself will charge you to handle your case? And that's called a contingency fee arrangement or contingency fee method. And what that means is that we take a percentage of what's recovered from the other side. Typically, there's a couple of ways of doing this. Every firm sort of does it a little bit differently, but the standard contingency fee is set by the Florida Bar. Basically, the Florida Bar tells you what the standard is, and then every firm does it a little bit differently. But one of the things that changes from firm to firm that would be important to you is the costs. So there are firms that do injury work where basically they don't charge you anything until you recover, but if they spend money on your case and they end up not recovering, then you owe them the costs. Basically, if the firm spent money to depose witnesses, if they spent money to file a lawsuit, etc., and they don't recover on the case, then you as the client have to reimburse the firm for the money that they spent, which could be substantial. Now, we don't do it like that. We have a pretty pure contingency method where if we don't recover anything, we don't charge you any fee, obviously, but also we don't charge you any costs either. So if we spend 20 grand on the case ended up not panning out, meaning we didn't recover anything for you, then we don't really collect anything from you either. We just deal with the fact as a firm that the money that we put out there just didn't come back to us this time. And so we don't hold the client to repaying the money that we spent. The contingency fee, meaning the percentage that is charged, really depends on a couple of things. By Florida Bar standards, the pretty standard contingency up to the first $1 million of recovery is 33 1/3 if the defendant has not answered the lawsuit, meaning up to the point where you file a lawsuit, but the defendant has yet to file what's called an answer to the lawsuit, then it's 33 1/3% of the recovery what we charge you on the case. After the defendant has answered the lawsuit, then that goes up to 40%. It never really goes higher than 40%. In fact, it reduces from 40% depending on how much money we're talking about. Basically, the first $1 million, these are the rates. The second $1 million, it decreases. The third $1 million, it decreases, and so on and so forth. So for example, if we were talking about a $1 million recovery at 40%, the firm fee would be $400,000. Whereas on a $2 million recovery, you would expect it to be $800,000, but it doesn't really work like that because the contingency fee rates decrease as the amount of recovery increases. So that's the way that firms do injury work. You don't pay by the hour, you don't pay a retainer, you don't really pay anything. The firm recovers only if you recover, and once you recover, then it's a percentage of whatever the arrangement is. Now, one thing to note, though, which is something that comes up every now and then, the percentages of the entire recovery and then the costs come out of the rest. So basically, if it's a $1 million recovery and it's post-suit, meaning I filed a lawsuit and they answer the lawsuit, then the firm's gonna recover 40% of that as a fee. But let's say we spent $1,000 at this point. So the entire firm money would be the $400,000, which is 40% of the total, and then $1,000, which was the cost advance. So basically what you're doing is you're paying a percentage on the total recovery, and then you're reimbursing the firm on the money that was actually paid out to other providers like the clerk of court, the court reporters, etc., etc. So anyway, guys, I hope that helps to simplify the whole process. If you're ever wondering, if you have an injury case and you're wondering how this whole thing works before you speak to a lawyer or anything like that, maybe you watch this video and you have a better idea as to what's going on. That's it. I'll catch you again next time.